Welcome to our City Biz listeners. Hi, Ron. It's wonderful to see you again. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today. Just so the listeners know, I'm Maayan Aviv, CEO of American Friends of Natal, an organization that supports the work of an apolitical nonprofit organization offering mental health services for those suffering from PTSD and trauma related to war and terror in Israel. Ron is a board member at American Friends of Natal, and we are so grateful for your ongoing support and involvement. It truly does make a difference. I'm excited to dive into some of the great work you've been doing at Northwind and explore how we can grow our partnership. But first, how have you been?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's a bit difficult. We just had the Israeli Memorial Day yesterday, and today it's a fast shift to Israel's Independence Day. So it's hard to celebrate in these challenging times.
And I can completely relate to that. Can you tell us a little about your work about Northwind Group? I know that throughout your career, you've executed 200 plus real estate transactions totaling over $4 billion, investing in CRE properties in New York City and healthcare and senior living properties across the U.S. Can you tell us a bit more?
Sure. I started the firm 15 years ago, originally focused on distressed debt. We've had some, we evolved with the years. Currently, we're mostly focused on our credit platform. We provide bridge loans on mostly residential properties in New York City and other major markets. And we provide bridge to HUD loans on portfolios of skilled nursing and senior housing across the country. We currently have about $2 billion of credit investments out there on the street. And it's been, gradually growing.
Growing and impressively so. I know you have a deeper connection to Natal and the organization, so maybe we start a few decades back and you can tell us about your time as captain in the Israeli Navy.
Oh, wow. So taking me 25 years back. So I enlisted to the Israeli Navy in 1998. Did a 6-year service. It was basically a 2-year the Naval Academy where you're trained to become a naval officer. I was initially an executive officer of a ship for about a year. Then I went back to advanced command training and got my command of a ship in middle of 2000 and year 2000, so around June 2000, and served in active combat roles for about 2 years, and later returned to the Naval Academy, this time as an instructor and a team leader. So overall, I served for about just over 6 years. And, it was a very intense environment, but it was also, fun and unique, being a commander of a ship. It's a very tight-knit environment, very close with the team, and a lot of stress. And obviously we were in intense combat situations, but there's a lot of good memories also.
And I'm sure those 6 years have really shaped your outlook on life. So feeds perfectly back into, let's take a moment to talk about the main theme of this interview, and that is the importance of philanthropy in the real estate industry. And how does philanthropy align with your business objectives in the real estate sector?
For me, it's just about doing something that matters. I was invited to learn about Natal from its founder, Dr. Jude Recanati, and she told me, she'd be happy for me to get involved. And the first time she approached me, I told her, listen, I don't have time, right? I'm too busy. Still young. I'm trying to build my business. And I imagined I'll have time to do philanthropy when I'm, older, when I'm, in my 60s, not when I'm in my 30s. I joined Natal about 7 years ago now. So I was then I was still in my 30s. Now I'm in my 40s. And she told me, listen, just start small. And that's exactly what I did. We did a small kind of cocktail event in one of our buildings. And immediately, inspired me to do more. It was the impact was just immediate. So it wasn't about, for me at least, it wasn't about advancing our business. If anything, it takes time and energy out, like of focusing on the business, because it takes a lot of effort to help organizations, increase their donor base and their exposure. But it just matters, more. I'm more excited about, or at least I'm as equally excited when we do a Natal event as we're doing a deal. So it feels a different, I would say, a different bucket in your soul. At least for me it is. And that's why it's so important. My connections to Natal goes, in multiple ways. My father was a general in the Air Force, and Natal's chief, psychologist was one of his best friends from the squadron. So I got immediately connected with Natal's mission. I found out it helped many friends of mine and people I knew along the way, and it's just an amazing organization.
Thank you. Do you have personal motivation to get younger employees, staff, people you know from the industry involved in philanthropy and or Natal?
I think it has to come from them. You can't really force anybody to be active, right? And I'm very happy that many team members at Northwind have risen to the occasion, and they're involved with Natal and other organizations and helping in the young, real estate professional forum and helping us organize events. And it's amazing. I think that they feel the same thing, that it's, the satisfaction of doing something that's not just involved in the business and making money. It's something else that helps, other people in their time of need. So I'm very happy to see young people get involved, and I wish there would be more. And I see a lot of engagement, which is inspiring. I think it's great to see so many people care and understand the real needs of people suffering right now. There's so much trauma after October 7. There's so much need on so many multiple levels. So, it's great to see as many people involved.
And have you found that your personal philanthropic efforts contribute to your business growth or brand reputation, or you were sort of talking about it a little before, team building with your own company?
I really don't look at it that way, I have to say. I mean, I'm doing it because it's important, and I feel that, the organizations I support, Natal is the main one. There are a few others I support because it's things that I care about, and it's great to see other people in my network feel the same way. But I don't see a direct link between it and our business. But it's great to see a lot of our colleagues, our friends, our investors, or law firms we use. Everybody's been stepping up, so it's great to see that camaraderie. And I think it's a lot about people support your cause, and then you support theirs, and it's a growing wheel or cycle, right? So that's the good thing about it.
That's a very genuine answer. Do you have a favorite success story or a particularly rewarding experience from your philanthropic efforts that you'd like to share?
I think when we've done the gala just right after October 7, I mean, you and I debated, should we cancel it or not? Nobody was really feeling festive. We're all sad and broken. And I think the decision to do it and do it as we stand with Israel and we support Israel, and the ability to have a Nova survivor that happens to be a daughter of a friend of mine who's also an investor was, to me, extremely moving. I think it was a night that there wasn't a dry eye in the audience. We all cried, and it was genuinely emotional and sad, but I think it was super important. So I think the decision of doing it and doing that event, even though it was very close to October 7, I think was a decision I'm proud of, and I'm happy we did it. And I think, in general, the amounts of funds that the organization raised post October 7 and the work you're doing and other board members has just been amazing.
With lots of thanks to you. Last question. What advice would you give to a real estate company that's looking to engage more deeply in philanthropic endeavors?
I would have to replicate the same advice I got, that start small, start early, right? And don't wait when you're in your 60 and people say, okay, I'll build my own business, I'll hopefully make a lot of money, then I'll give back to to organizations. I mean, do it now, do it small. And it's all about, it's not about the individual donation. It's about really, everybody has a circle of friends, of colleagues that he can harness. So as the earlier you start, the better it will be when you're in your 60s. So I think a lot of the a lot of young people, young professionals, are hesitant of doing it now. They feel like they need to be focused on their careers, and it's true. Uh, but starting early and small, I think, is the advice I would give.
Thank you, Ron, for the great advice, which you clearly follow and lead by. And thank you for spending time with me this afternoon. And thank you to our listeners.